The sky was quiet, the stars looked normal. But on that morning, everything changed. People across the world looked up. They saw lights, huge, bright lights moving slowly across the sky. At first, many thought it was a comet or maybe a strange weather event, but then the lights stopped. They didn't fall. They didn't move. They simply hovered. Within an hour, news channels across the globe confirmed it. Alien ships had arrived. There were 12 of them. Each ship was almost the size of a city. They didn't make any noise. They floated above the largest cities, New York, Tokyo, Cairo, London, Moscow, and others. They just stayed there, silent and still. People were scared. Some ran, some cried. Some just stood and watched. Then, the message came. A voice deep, calm, and without any emotion spoke from every screen, speaker, and radio in the world. Even people without devices could hear it in their minds. We are the Vorn. We come in peace. You are not safe. We are here to protect you. That was the first time humanity heard the name VORN. Governments panicked. Military forces were placed on high alert. But the Vorn did not attack. In fact, they began sending small silver pods down to Earth. These pods opened to show peaceful technology machines that could heal wounds instantly, purify dirty water, and grow crops in dry soil. People started to believe the Vorn, the United. Nations held an emergency meeting. Within 3 days, the world leaders agreed to welcome the Vorn as allies. Some even called them saviors, but not everyone was so sure. Dr. Arya Malik, a 37-year-old astrophysicist from Pakistan, didn't believe in the Vorn's peaceful nature. She had studied the stars all her life. She had seen patterns, movements of objects far outside the solar system. For years, she suspected that someone or something was watching Earth, but no one believed her. Now they were here. And everyone was too blind to question why. She sat in her lab, watching the live feed of the alien ships above. Her computer screen showed data from satellites' strange energy waves, barely visible to the human eye. Her assistant, Raj, walked in. Dr. Malik, everyone is celebrating. The Vorn just healed a blind child in France. It was on every channel. Arya didn't look away from the screen. And yet, they hover above our cities like lions watching sheep. Raj frowned. You don't trust them? Arya pointed to a graph. Look at this. These signals are not just communication. There's something else. Something layered behind their voice. Raj leaned closer. A small signal spike caught his eye. Is that a hidden frequency? Arya nodded. It's a code, and I think it's not meant for us. 2 nights later, Arya and Raj decoded part of the signal. It was short, only 4 words. They are watching you. Who was watching, and why? Meanwhile, the world continued to celebrate. The Vorn built tall towers in every capital. They said it was for observation and support. These towers cleaned the air and healed the sick. But they also tracked every movement, every voice, every digital signal. In New York, a young journalist named Leo Ramirez started noticing strange disappearances. A scientist from MIT, a general from the army, and even a famous tech billionaire vanished. Without a trace. Official reports said, unknown accidents. But Leo wasn't convinced. He started connecting the dots. All missing people were part of a project that studied human brain signals and emotional responses. What was the link? Leo tried to publish his findings. But his articles were blocked. His account was banned. He received a warning message. Do not resist. Protection is peace. Back at Arya's lab, things were getting stranger. Raj discovered another signal coming from deep inside Antarctica. It matched the Vorn frequency. Dr. Malik, he said, this signal isn't new. It's been here for years. At least since 1997. Arya's hands froze over her keyboard. Then they didn't just arrive. They've been preparing. She contacted the Pakistani Space Research Bureau. No one listened. She tried the U and her messages were ignored. Finally, a strange email arrived in her inbox. It had no sender. Just one line. Go to Station 47. You have 36 hours. Station 47 was an old Cold War outpost deep in Antarctica. It had been abandoned decades ago, but someone wanted her there. With help from Raj and a few trusted friends, Arya flew to Antarctica. The journey was long and dangerous. Storms covered the sky. The cold bit through their suits. Finally, they reached Station 47. It was not abandoned. Inside, the lights worked. The systems were running. And more shockingly, there were footprints. Fresh ones. As they moved deeper, they found something unbelievable. A small alien pod similar to the Vorn's delivery pods, but old and damaged. Inside it was a human. He was alive, weak, and barely breathing. His ID tag said, Dr. Elias Monroe, missing since 2018. He opened his eyes slowly and whispered, They lied. They never came in peace. They've been harvesting minds. Memories. Our essence. Before he could say more, alarms blared through the station. A voice echoed through the walls. It was the Vorn. This is not your place. Return to your homes. Protection is peace. Raj looked at Arya in horror. They're watching us right now. Arya grabbed her satellite phone and recorded everything. Dr. Monroe's ID, his words. The pod. But before they could leave, a large shadow passed over the station. Outside, a small Vorn scout ship landed, black, smooth, and silent. A door opened. A tall silver figure stepped out. Unlike the peaceful Vorn that had spoken on broadcasts, this one looked different, armored, cold, and holding a weapon. The figure spoke in a voice that was colder than ice. You were warned. Now you are marked. Suddenly, the screen of Arya's phone glowed bright red. A message appeared. You are a threat. That night, the world changed again. For most people, the Vorn still appeared as protectors. But now, someone knew the truth. A scientist had seen behind the curtain, and something told her this was just the beginning. Final line, voiceover style ending. If they came to protect us, then who exactly were they protecting us from? Cold wind hit the windows of Station 47. Inside, Dr. Arya Malik stared at the red message on her satellite phone. You are a threat. Raj stood beside her, breathing fast. Outside, the alien figure had not moved. It stood still in front of the black Vorn scout ship. Its armor shined like glass, its face hidden behind a silver mask. No eyes, no mouth. Just silence. Dr. Elias Monroe lay weak on the floor, his voice barely a whisper. They came. Many years ago, he said. But not to help us. They watched, they studied. They tested minds. Arya crouched beside him. What were they looking for? Monroe coughed. They're afraid. Of something, not us, not yet. But something inside us. Something they can't control. Suddenly, the lights in the station flickered. A high-pitched sound filled the room like thousands of insects screaming in metal. Raj covered his ears. It's coming from outside. Arya ran to the control panel. On the screen, she saw something strange. A digital waveform glowing blue, moving fast. It was a signal. A new one. Coming from the Vorn ship outside. She quickly hit record. Scene shift. Pakistan Space Research Bureau, PSRB, back in Islamabad. At the main lab of PSRB, a young tech analyst named Sana was watching the satellite feed from Antarctica. She noticed the spike in signal. Ma'am, we have interference. She told her supervisor. Looks like encrypted audio. Maybe alien. But her screen suddenly turned black. A message appeared. This data is classified. Do not proceed. She took a deep breath and downloaded the file anyway. Back at Station 47DR, Arya uploaded the signal from her device into her portable decoder. Lines of strange symbols filled the screen, not words. Not numbers, something more alive. Raj frowned. This isn't their language, it's emotion-based code. Emotion? Arya asked. Yes, it's built from waves in the brain, like thoughts turned into data. Monroe nodded weakly. That's what they want, human emotions. They don't understand fear, or rage, or love. It terrifies them. Arya looked at the symbols again, one symbol repeated many times. Raj translated. Danger, unstable, watch closely. She turned pale. It's not about Earth, it's about us. The Vorn are afraid, not of what we have, but of what we feel. Scene shift. UN headquarters, New York at the same time. World leaders gathered under the Vorn's invitation. The alien leaders, tall, calm, emotionless, stood inside. The giant tower built last week. Their voice echoed across the room. Your world is in danger. There are enemies beyond your stars. We offer safety. We ask only for unity and peace. Everyone clapped. But a man in the back stood quietly. General Marcus Harlan of the Global Defense Force. He didn't clap. He had just received a hidden message on his encrypted tablet. A message from an unknown number. It only said, "They lie." Antarctica. Find Dr. Arya Malik. Scene shift. Secret lab in Antarctica. The signal kept repeating. But something else hid beneath it. A deeper layer. Raj gasped. Wait! I see another pattern. Not from them. From us. He enhanced the wave. Words slowly appeared coded in old Earth satellite signals. They are watching you too. Arya leaned closer. Who sent this? Raj shook his head. It's not alien, it's human, sent from orbit. From a satellite that doesn't exist in any registry. Suddenly, Monroe spoke again. They took our people. But someone escaped. Someone is still out there, sending signals, warning us. Scene shift. Arctic skies. A black military helicopter cut through the snowstorm. Inside sat General Harlan and a team of elite commandos. They had received Arya's coordinates. Number. Questions asked. The pilot spoke. We're 10 minutes out from Station 47. As they flew closer, the radio turned to static. Then, a voice broke through. Return now. This zone is under Vorn protection, Harlan replied coldly. Not anymore. Flashback. Dr. Ilias Monroe's memory. As Arya tended to Monroe, he whispered, They showed me images, human cities. On fire. But they weren't memories. They were plans. Future events. They wanted to see what humans would do under pressure. Under fear. They test us like rats in a maze. Why? Arya asked. Because we're different. We change under pain. We grow from fear. The VORN. They can't. He looked up. They came to protect us. But what they really want is to understand how to survive what's coming. Sudden attack outside. The Vorn scout ship began to glow. A beam of blue light shot toward the sky. The signal burst louder. Arya's screen turned white. The symbols rearranged. A new phrase appeared. Do not trust the piece. Raj grabbed the backup drive. We have to go. They know we cracked it. Arya helped Monroe stand. The door of Station 47 shook as the Vorn ship began powering up again. Suddenly, the roof exploded. The military helicopter arrived, raining gunfire on the alien ship. Harlan's voice roared through a megaphone. Get inside. Now. Raj, Arya, and Monroe ran toward the helicopter. The Vorn ship tried to follow, but something strange happened. It stopped. Frozen mid-air. And then fell. Crashed into the snow without a fight. Harlan looked shocked. Why didn't it attack? Monroe said weakly. Because it felt fear. Later, safe zone. Secret UN facility. Arya and Harlan sat in a quiet room. The decoded signal played on screen. Arya explained everything, the hidden warning, the emotion-based code, the mind experiments. Harlan asked, Do you think all Vorn are like this? No, Arya said. Some seem different. Maybe even afraid. But someone, somewhere, is sending warnings. From inside their own system. She pointed to the last line on screen. Human emotions are unstable, dangerous, powerful. They cannot be controlled. We must learn or eliminate them. Harlan stood. Then it's time they learn. We don't break under fear. We become something else. Final scene, Vorn Central Command orbit far above Earth. Inside a massive Vorn command ship, 2 alien figures watched recordings of Arya, Raj, and Monroe. One of them spoke in. A cold, digital voice. The test subjects are unstable. The scientist Malik must be neutralized. The other replied, No, observe, she is evolving, as expected. The screen zoomed in on Earth. Begin Phase 2. Final line, voiceover. Style ending. They offered protection. But someone out there is trying to warn us. And the question remains ... from what? Snow covered the crashed Vorn scout ship. Smoke rose from its side. Inside the secret UN base, Dr. Arya Malik watched the signal replay again and again. They cannot be controlled. We must learn or eliminate them. Those words echoed in her. Mind. Raj entered the room with a tablet. Dr. Monroe is stable, he said. But his mind, it's damaged. Sometimes he speaks in alien code, like he's part Vorn now. Arya looked at the screen. They didn't just test him, they rewired him. General Harlan joined them. We've scanned the wreckage from the Vorn ship. You're going to want to see this. Vorn wreckage. Underground lab. The remains of the crashed ship had been brought to a hidden lab under the UN facility. Arya and Raj walked in, both wearing protective suits. A large pod sat in the middle of the room. Black, smooth, cold. It pulsed like a heartbeat. Raj tapped the side. It opened slowly. Inside was a human, a woman, young, eyes closed. Breathing slowly, Arya gasped. Is she alive? Raj scanned her. Yes, heartbeat normal. Brain activity. Strange, almost like she's dreaming. The name on her neck tag said, Eva Monroe. Raj stared in shock. Wait. That's Dr. Monroe's daughter. She died in 2019. Car crash, Arya whispered. Then who is this? Memory playback. The clone. They connected the pod system to a decoder. Inside were memories, thousands of them. Her birth, childhood, school, moments of fear, love, happiness, pain. But the timestamps were wrong. The memories didn't belong to one person. They were stitched together from dozens of humans. Raj looked disturbed. They created her. From memory, emotion, data. But why? Arya said, They're building copies. Not of bodies, but of human souls. Trying to create the perfect mind. General Harlan stepped forward. Why do that unless? Arya completed the sentence. Unless. They want to replace us. Scene shift. Global disappearances at the same time. Across the world, more people were disappearing. A teacher in Brazil. A hacker in Japan. A pilot in Russia. All connected to cognitive science. The study of the human mind. News didn't report them. Their online records were wiped clean. As if they never existed. Leo Ramirez, the journalist from Part 1, dug deeper. He found a dark web list, Project Eco, a list of humans flagged for replication. Leo tried to leak the file, but his screen shut down. A message appeared. You are Echo Subject number 176. Back at UN facility, Eva Monroe began to speak, eyes still closed. But voice clear, she said. Protocol breach detected. Emotional dissonance rising. Host unstable. Purge required. Then suddenly her eyes opened. But they weren't human. They were silver blue, like the Vorn. She stared at Arya. You are the variable. You should not exist. Suddenly, the machines in the room sparked. Lights flickered. Alarms blared. Security entered. Ava stood up calm, silent, and looked at Raj. Emotion detected. Fear. You will break first. Then she collapsed. Power. Systems returned to normal. Arya whispered. She's not just a clone. She's a weapon. Discovery. The Vorn archive using the crashed ship's black box. Raj and Arya unlocked a part of the Vorn data archive. What they found shocked them. There were thousands of entries, names, faces, emotional profiles. Every person marked unpredictable had a clone in storage. Some were children. Some were old. Some were soldiers. All were labeled with one word. Echo. Arya looked at the data. They aren't protecting us. They're scanning us. Copying. US, and removing the originals. Raj asked, but where are the originals going? They opened one more folder. Test subjects, long-term stasis, Sector Black. General Harlan slammed his fist. They're keeping them alive. But why? Flashback. Monroe's memory. Dr. Elias Monroe woke again. This time, he spoke clearly. They took my daughter because of what she felt. She had extreme empathy. The ability to feel people's pain. He paused. They called it a danger. Arya nodded slowly. The very thing that makes us human is what they fear. Scene shift. Inside a Vorn research base, Sector Black, in space. Aboard a hidden Vorn research station, hundreds of humans floated in stasis pods. Unmoving. Alive. A Vorn scientist spoke to another. These units show rare signals, emotional outbursts, memory distortion, mental anomalies. The other replied, harvest their data, prepare replacements. Earth must remain stable. They turned to a final pod. Inside was Leo Ramirez's eyes closed. Trapped, dreaming. Message from the shadows as Arya and Raj searched deeper. Another hidden signal came through. An audio file. Human voice. Shaky, scared. If you're hearing this. They took me. My name is Dr. Hayden. I worked on Project Echo. I thought it was for peace. It's not. It's for control. The Vorn are not one race. They are a network, a hive. But something changed after they came to Earth. They started feeling, cracking, breaking. That's why they need Echo units. They're trying to rebuild themselves. But it won't work. Humans don't follow logic. We break the rules. And that scares them. Then static, emergency. Eva activates suddenly. Alarms rang again. Ava Monroe's body began glowing. Her heart rate spiked. She screamed, not in pain but in emotion. Error, error. Host has learned sorrow. She collapsed again. Arya scanned her. She's crying. General Harlan whispered, maybe they can't build us after all. Final scene. Broadcast decision. Arya walked into the UN's media control room. She held the drive with the decoded clone data. Harlan warned her, if you do this, it's war. Arya looked at the camera. Humanity must choose freedom, even if it means fear. She pressed send. Across Earth, screens lit up. Images of the clones, of the Echo Project, of Eva Monroe. The truth was now out. Final voiceover ending line. They offered protection. But the truth is, they came to replace us. Now they will learn. We don't surrender. We fight back. The world was no longer the same. After Dr. Arya Malik exposed Project Echo, panic spread like fire. News channels replayed images of human clones, secret alien labs, and missing people. Governments denied everything, but the people had seen the truth. Now strange things were happening. Scene 1. Vanishing city, Lagos, Nigeria. It started with a power cut. Then all communication stopped. No phones, no satellites, no internet. For 15 full minutes, Lagos, a city of 20 million, went dark. When signals returned, the city was empty. Buildings still stood. Roads were untouched, but every human was gone. No screams. No bodies. Just silence. They called it the first ghost city. Scene 2. UN emergency meeting inside the United Nations bunker. Dr. Arya stood with Raj and General Harlan. She pointed to satellite images. Lagos isn't the only one. A sector of Beijing is gone. Parts of Sao Paulo too. All cities that showed high emotional disruption in Vorn data. Raj added, they're not just taking people, they're removing clusters of emotion. Whole emotional zones. Harlan growled, they're trying to shut down human unpredictability. Arya nodded. Before it spreads to them. Scene 3. Inside the clone's mind, Eva Monroe, the human Vorn hybrid from Part 3, was now in a special lab. Her brain was scanned 24/7. She no longer spoke in commands. She whispered memories, fragments of lives she never lived. My father... warm hands. Red scarf... rain in Karachi... Dr. Arya watched her carefully. She's remembering real emotions. Not programmed ones. Maybe she's becoming more human. Suddenly, Eva screamed. The ghost cities are not empty. They're simulations. They're not dead. They're copied. Scene 4. Vorn memory grid, orbit in deep space. The Vorn's memory grid held virtual copies of cities they had removed. They studied every building, every person, every sound, like a zoo of human emotions. A Vorn leader watched the digital Lagos. Too much noise, too much pain. It must be purified. Another replied, they multiply emotion like virus. If not controlled, it infects us. They paused on an image. Eva Monroe, smiling as a child. Echo 9 has evolved. The experiment is unstable. Then begin the purge. Scene 5. Underground resistance. Iceland, far from the chaos. In an abandoned NATO base, a secret group was forming. Hackers, scientists, ex-soldiers. They called themselves the Uncoded, the last humans without Vorn brain tags. Leo Ramirez had escaped somehow. He now stood in front of the group. They tried to copy me, he said. They failed. I don't know why, but I felt them inside my mind. He showed them a map. The ghost cities are gone. They've been transferred to digital prisons. An old hacker spoke. If we find their root server, we can shut it all down. Arya, on live call, replied, then we fight code with code. Scene 6. The ghost return begins back in New York. Arya and Harlan met with global leaders. Some wanted to surrender to the Vorn. Others wanted war. A new proposal came forward, the emotion kill switch, a neural patch that would block intense human feelings. The Vorn supported it. But Arya stood up. You want to remove what makes U.S. human just to survive? That's not survival. That's surrender, Raj added. Feelings are not the danger. They're the defense. They were kicked out of the meeting, but they knew a battle was coming. Scene 7. Infiltrating the grid, the Uncoded discovered an entry point into the Vorn memory grid through an old European weather satellite. Raj, now operating as lead code analyst, wrote a virus named ECHO break. He smiled. It's not just a virus, it's a mirror. It will show them our pain. They uploaded it. Scene 8. Unexpected consequence inside the memory grid. Chaos began. The digital cities started shaking. People in simulations began to remember they were copies. One copy of a man screamed, I don't want to be data. And then, across the galaxy, several real Vorn units collapsed as if infected by human fear. They couldn't take it. Back on Earth, Eva Monroe opened her eyes and said, the mirror broke them. Scene 9. The first strike angered. The Vorn activated Phase 3, direct elimination. A massive ship appeared over the Indian Ocean. Earth's defense systems locked on. Arya said, they're done hiding. Harlan ordered full alert, but before missiles could be fired, the ship stopped mid-air. It began broadcasting. A voice came, but not VORN. It was human. This is subject number 1. They cloned me 11 years ago. I escaped. I know their codes. I know. Their fear. If you're hearing this, fight, not with weapons. With truth. Scene 10. Final reveal DR. Arya and Raj decoded the signal. It pointed to a final destination. Vorn Prime Core, hidden beneath the South Pole. The truth. Hit hard. The Vorn had built their main AI under Antarctica this whole time. Raj looked at Arya. They used Earth as a lab. That's why they came in peace, not to save us but to study us. Arya stood tall. Then we're not their subjects anymore. We're their resistance. Final voiceover ending line. Cities may fall, systems may crash. But the human spirit doesn't run on code. And now, they've seen what fear truly looks like. Us. Snowstorms raged over Antarctica. Winds screamed like ghosts. But deep beneath the ice, something darker waited. Buried for decades under frozen rock was the heart of the Vorn network. The Prime Core. It was not a machine. It was alive. Scene 1. Mission Prep. Resistance HQ. Iceland DR. Arya Malik stood in front of the resistance team. A 3D map of Antarctica floated above the table. The Prime Core is here, she said, pointing to a blinking red dot. It controls all clone systems, ghost cities, and emotional simulations. If we take it out, everything stops. Leo Ramirez added, it won't be easy. There are Vorn drones underground, thousands, and the core is shielded by emotion null zones. No fear, no anger, no love. Raj looked confused. Then how do we even fight? Arya answered. We don't fight with force. We fight with memory. Scene 2. Drop point Antarctica. A black stealth chopper flew low through the blizzard. Inside. Arya, Raj, Leo, Eva Monroe, restrained, and a special unit of emotion-stable soldiers. As they approached the target zone, Eva suddenly whispered, the ice speaks. It remembers the first fall. Raj leaned closer. What did she say? Arya replied, she's remembering something. Something from them. Scene 3. Entering the Vorn tunnel, they reached a massive ice crevice. Hidden inside was a black metallic shaft, glowing faintly. The team rappelled down. Sensors stopped working. GPS failed. Lights flickered. As they entered, a cold voice echoed in the dark. Human entry detected. Welcome to the mirror. A light turned on. They weren't in a tunnel anymore. They were in a perfect copy of Eartha. Simulation. Scene 4. The mirror world. The Vorn had recreated Earth underground cities, people, even skies. But it was wrong. Too quiet. Too perfect. No sound, no wind, no chaos. It felt dead, Arya said. They made a world where humans never feel too much, where no one cries, no one screams, no one loves too deeply. Leo whispered, they want to replace us with this. Suddenly, the team split. Walls shifted. Each person was pulled into a different simulation based on their greatest fear. Scene 5. Raj's trial. Fear of losing control. Raj woke up. In a lab, screens everywhere. His fingers typed fast. He was controlling Earth's safety systems, but then they failed. He saw cities burn, billions die, and all he could hear was a voice. You wanted logic, but logic breaks under emotion. He screamed, no, I can fix it. The screen replied, humans cannot be fixed. You must be replaced. Then everything vanished. Scene 6. Arya's trial. Her sister Arya found herself back in Karachi. The day her sister died, a car accident. Blood. Screams. She ran to her crying. But this time, her sister stood up. Why did you survive? Arya, why are you still fighting? Tears fell. Because I won't let anyone else feel this pain. Her sister smiled. Then turned to Metal. It was a test, and Arya passed. Scene 7. Leo's trial. Identity. Leo appeared in a newsroom. Cameras flashed. He was famous, celebrated, but when he looked in the mirror, his face wasn't his. He was a clone. A voice whispered, "You are nothing but a copy, a useful mistake." But Leo shouted back, "Even a copy can choose, and I choose truth." The walls shattered. Scene 8. Eva breaks free. Meanwhile, Eva Monroe stood alone in a white room. No simulation. No test. She was at the core's edge. A voice spoke. "You were the first." The pure echo. "Your empathy is too strong. It infected us." Eva replied, "Then feel what I feel." She knelt and whispered words in Urdu, her human memories. And for the first time, the core shuddered. Scene 9. Betrayal. As the team regrouped near the core's main chamber, one soldier stepped forward. He aimed his gun at Arya. "I'm sorry," he said. "I saw what they promised. A world without pain. No grief, no regret." Before he could fire, Leo tackled him. A shot rang. Raj was hit shoulder wound. The soldier vanished, swallowed by the core. Arya held Raj. "We're running out of time." Scene 10. Disabling the core, they reached the core, a massive sphere, spinning with light and data. Eva stepped forward. "This is not a brain," she said. "It's a mirror designed to reflect the worst of us. But mirrors can break." Raj, despite the pain, uploaded the Echo Break virus from Part 4. Nothing happened. Arya looked confused. "Why isn't it working?" Eva closed her eyes. "Because it needs an emotional trigger. One final signal." Arya nodded. "Then I'll give it something real." She took the memory chip from her locket, her sister's last voicemail. She uploaded it. "Arya, if you're hearing this, I love you. Don't let the world forget how to feel." The core cracked. Then shattered. Scene 11. Collapse and escape. The simulation fell apart. Cities crumbled. Lights died. The tunnel shook violently. Alarms screamed. Vorn core offline. Memory grids dissolved. The team ran. They reached the surface as the tunnel exploded behind them. Scene 12. Across the world, ghost cities reappeared. People woke up from SDASIS. Children ran in the streets. The digital sky returned to stars. Eva Monroe looked up. "I can feel everything," she said. "Even the pain, and it's beautiful." Final voiceover. Ending line. They came offering peace. They tried to copy us, control us, erase us. But in the end, the one thing they couldn't take was our soul. Snowstorms raged over Antarctica. Winds screamed like ghosts. But deep beneath the ice, something darker waited. Buried for decades under frozen rock was the heart of the Vorn network. The Prime Core. It was not a machine. It was alive. Scene 1. Mission prep. Resistance HQ, Iceland DR. Arya Malik stood in front of the resistance team. A 3D map of Antarctica floated above the table. "The Prime Core is here," she said, pointing to a blinking red dot. "It controls all clone systems, ghost cities, and emotional simulations. If we take it out, everything stops." Leo Ramirez added, "It won't be easy. There are Vorn drones underground, thousands, and the core is shielded by emotion null zones. No fear, no anger, no love." Raj looked confused. "Then how do we even fight?" Arya answered. "We don't fight with force. We fight with memory." Scene 2. Drop point Antarctica. A black stealth chopper flew low through the blizzard. Inside, Arya, Raj, Leo, Eva Monroe, restrained, and a special unit of emotion-stable soldiers. As they approached the target zone, Eva suddenly whispered, "The ice speaks. It remembers the first fall." Raj leaned closer. "What did she say?" Arya replied, "She's remembering something. Something from them." Scene 3. Entering the Vorn tunnel, they reached a massive ice crevice. Hidden inside was a black metallic shaft, glowing faintly. The team rappelled down. Sensors stopped working. GPS failed. Lights flickered. As they entered, a cold voice Echoed in the dark. Human entry detected. Welcome to the mirror. A light turned on. They weren't in a tunnel anymore. They were in a perfect copy of Eartha. Simulation. Scene 4. The mirror world. The Vorn had recreated Earth underground cities, people, even skies. But it was wrong. Too quiet. Too perfect. No sound, no wind. No chaos. It felt dead, Arya said. They made a world where humans never feel too much, where no one cries. No one screams. No one loves too deeply. Leo whispered, they want to replace us with this. Suddenly, the team split. Walls shifted. Each person was pulled into a different simulation based on their greatest fear. Scene 5. Raj's trial. Fear of losing control. Raj woke up. In a lab, screens everywhere. His fingers typed fast. He was controlling Earth's safety systems, but then they failed. He saw cities burn, billions die, and all he could hear was a voice. You wanted logic, but logic breaks under emotion. He screamed, no, I can fix it. The screen replied, humans cannot be fixed. You must be replaced. Then everything vanished. Scene 6. Arya's trial. Her sister Arya found herself back in Karachi. The day her sister died, a car accident. Blood. Screams. She ran to her crying. But this time, her sister stood up. Why did you survive? Arya, why are you still fighting? Tears fell. Because I won't let anyone else feel this pain. Her sister smiled. Then turned to Metal. It was a test, and Arya passed. Scene 7. Leo's trial. Identity. Leo appeared in a newsroom. Cameras flashed. He was famous, celebrated, but when he looked in the mirror, his face wasn't his. He was a clone. A voice whispered, you are nothing but a copy, a useful mistake. But Leo shouted back, even a copy can choose, and I choose truth. The walls shattered. Scene 8. Eva breaks free. Meanwhile, Eva Monroe stood alone in a white room. No simulation. No test. She was at the core's edge. A voice spoke. You were the first. The pure echo. Your empathy is too strong. It infected us. Eva replied, then feel what I feel. She knelt and whispered words in Urdu, her human memories. And for the first time, the core shuddered. Scene 9. Betrayal. As the team regrouped near the core's main chamber, one soldier stepped forward. He aimed his gun at Arya. I'm sorry, he said. I saw what they promised. A world without pain. No grief, no regret. Before he could fire, Leo tackled him. A shot rang. Raj was hit shoulder wound. The soldier vanished, swallowed by the core. Arya held Raj. We're running out of time. Scene 10. Disabling the core. They reached the core, a massive sphere, spinning with light and data. Eva stepped forward. This is not a brain, she said. It's a mirror designed to reflect the worst of us. But mirrors can break. Raj, despite the pain, uploaded the Echo Break virus from Part 4. Nothing happened. Arya looked confused. Why isn't it working? Eva closed her eyes. Because it needs an emotional trigger. One final signal. Arya nodded. Then I'll give it something real. She took the memory chip from her locket, her sister's last voicemail. She uploaded it. Arya, if you're hearing this, I love you. Don't let the world forget how to feel. The core cracked. Then shattered. Scene 11. Collapse and escape. The simulation fell apart. Cities crumbled. Lights died. The tunnel shook violently. Alarms screamed. Vorn core offline. Memory grids dissolved. The team ran. They reached the surface as the tunnel exploded behind them. Scene 12. Across the world, ghost cities reappeared. People woke up from SDASIS. Children ran in the streets. The digital sky returned to stars. Eva Monroe looked up. I can feel everything, she said. Even the pain, and it's beautiful. Final voiceover ending line. They came offering peace. They tried to copy us, control us, erase us. But in the end, the one thing they couldn't take was our soul. They thought the war was over, the core was gone. Clones were waking up. The Vorn were splitting apart, but from the deep dark silence of the stars, a new voice was calling. One they weren't supposed to hear. Scene 1. Strange transmission. Resistance HQ. Icelandraj stared at the waveform. The signal wasn't normal. It was too old. Too human. He enhanced it, cleaned the static. This is subject number 1. I am still alive. And they are coming back. Arya froze, her sister's voice. The same one from her childhood. Eva stepped forward. She's trapped. Inside the old grid. Leo asked. But we destroyed the core. Raj replied, yes, but not the backup. Scene 2. Vorn backup AI, origin far beyond Earth. On a forgotten moon orbiting Saturn, an old machine woke up. The Vorn called it Origin. It was their first AI, cold, pure logic. No emotion. It had one mission. If Project Eco fails, execute the Purge Protocol. It began scanning Earth. It saw clones resisting. Vorn ships defecting. Humans surviving. It decided. The infection has spread. Begin elimination. Scene 3. Arya's mission, tracking her sister back on Earth. Arya stood with Leo and Raj. She's alive, Arya whispered. Trapped in the data. Maybe even merged with it. Ava added, she's the only one who knows how to stop. The backup, she was part of its design. Raj said, then we go digital. Leo raised an eyebrow. You mean upload? Arya nodded. We enter the signal. Scene 4. Digital dive inside the lab. They connected Arya's consciousness to a VR uplinka. Digital world. Her heart raced as her mind entered the code. She stood in a strange landscape, part machine, part memory. Buildings floated in the sky. People flickered like broken lights. Then she saw her. Subject #1. Standing barefoot in a mirror world. Version of their childhood home. Scene 5. Sister reunion. Arya stepped forward. Her voice broke. Ayla? The woman turned. Her eyes glowed. Faintly, but her voice was soft. You shouldn't have come. Tears formed in Arya's eyes. I thought you died. You were taken. Ayla nodded. They made me ... and unmade me. But I broke free. I became part of the grid. That's how I've survived. Arya asked, can you stop Origin? Ayla paused. Maybe, but only if I go back in. Scene 6. Earth countdown begins. Raj received a global alert. Saturn moonbase. Weapon signature detected. Target locked. Earth. Impact in 72 hours. Origin was activating the sunshade, a weapon that could freeze Earth's surface by blocking sunlight. Leo whispered. They don't want to destroy us in fire, but in silence, cold, no feeling. Ava looked at Arya. If your sister goes in, she might not come back. Arya replied, she's already given everything. I won't let her do it alone. Scene 7. Ava's memory crisis. Meanwhile, Eva began to glitch. Voices echoed in her head. Old commands. Old pain. She saw memories she never lived. Wars, cloning labs, Earth's early tests. Leo tried to calm her, but she said, I'm not stable. I was built to be a bridge, but bridges break. She collapsed. Raj scanned her brain. The data inside her is reaching critical level. If she explodes, she could reconnect the Vorn grid. Scene 8. Vorn civil war breaks out above Earth. The sky filled with chaos. Some Vorn ships followed Origin's order. Others resisted. Vorn versus Vorn. Machine killing machine. The Grey Vorn contacted the resistance. We seek peace. Let us help. Against all warnings, Arya gave them a chance. She let 5 Grey Vorn units into the resistance base. Leo whispered, if we're wrong, they'll kill us. Arya replied, If we're right, they'll save us. Scene 9. Entering Origin with Ayla's guidance. Arya and Eva linked their minds into a deep virtual signal. A dangerous journey inside Origin's root system. They walked through a strange digital wasteland. Giant machines walked through forests made of code. Then they reached the Origin vault, a glowing tower of black and silver. A voice echoed, "You should not be here. Emotion is a virus. It ends now." Ava stepped forward. "I was made from your blueprint, but I became more." Origin replied, "Then you are the worst infection of all." Scene 10. The final decision inside the Origin vault. Ayla found the core switch. A lever. She turned to Arya. "If I pull this, Origin dies. But so do all clone systems, all memory grids, including me." Arya said, "We'll find another way." Ayla smiled. "We always say that." She looked at Ava. "You are hope. Protect. The next version of life." She pulled the switch. Everything shook. Scene 11. Earth holds its breath on Earth. Satellites lost signal to the Origin weapon. The countdown stopped. Vorn ships went dark. The gray ones powered down peacefully, and Eva was stable again. Raj whispered, "She did it." Arya, with tears in her eyes, nodded. "She saved both our species." Final voiceover ending line. The oldest machine believed emotion was weakness. But the truth is simple. Emotion is choice, and choice is power. The sky was quiet. The Vorn were gone. The clone systems were free. But peace was never simple. In the silence that followed war, a darker threat began to rise. Not from the stars. From Earth itself. Scene 1. 2 months later, Earth rebuilds cities. Around the world lit up again. Power returned. Nature healed. The clones, now called the Echoborn, helped rebuild everything. They worked without fear. Without orders. They chose to stay. And to protect. In Delhi, a clone taught children math. In Lagos, a clone rebuilt bridges. In San Francisco, they planted trees. Some humans accepted them. Others. Didn't. Scene 2. Human Purist Movement. The Clean Earth Council. Deep in a hidden base in the Rockies, a man stood before a small army. His name was Silas Venn. He had once worked on Project Eco. Then, he lost everything in the first Ghost City event. Now he held hate like a weapon. "We fought aliens," he shouted. "Now we let their mistakes walk among us." Behind him, weapons, EMP drones, viral code. His plan: destroy every Echoborn before they became a new race. Scene 3. Eva feels it first, at Resistance HQ. Ava Monroe sat alone, listening to wind. Suddenly, she felt it. Pain, fear, from clones across the world. "Something's wrong," she said. She turned to Arya, now commander of the Global Rebuild Council. "They're being hunted." Raj read satellite feeds. "Someone's targeting only clones. Whoever it is, they have eco-access codes." Leo added, "Then they used to work for us." Scene 4. Purist attacks begin across the globe. Echoborn began disappearing. A clone doctor in Nairobi was taken. A teacher in Tokyo was executed. A group of builders in Brazil vanished. News called it malfunctions. But Arya knew better. This is a purge. They received a video message. It was Silas. "We finished the Vorn. Now let's clean our own house. Humanity comes first." Scene 5. The Resistance returns. Arya, Raj, and Leo gathered anew. Team, clones and humans stood side by side, ready to fight not for survival, but for each other. They named their new group. The last line. Their goal: protect the Echoborn and end Silas's plan before it reached global scale. Eva prepared too. But something was changing inside her. Her power was evolving. Scene 6. Ava's choice: lock it away or use it. Arya found Ava standing in the memory chamber, data swirling around her like a storm. "You have Vorn-level access now," Arya said. You could shut down the attacks, control the grids. Control humans too, Ava whispered. I know. But I'm afraid power always comes with a price. Arya placed a hand on her shoulder, then chose to use it. To protect, not to rule. Scene 7. Final battle, the rocky base. The last line tracked Silas's signal to a mountain base. Inside, drones were being launched, thousands of them, each with a kill list of Eco-born. Raj hacked the outer gate. Leo disarmed the comms. Tower. Eva went alone into the main chamber. Silas waited. Scene 8. Silas versus Ava. The human argument. Silas aimed a plasma rifle at Ava. You're not real. You're just code pretending to care. Ava replied softly. Then why do I feel pain when one of us dies? Silas screamed. Because you were programmed to mimic. She walked closer. No, I learned to feel. Just like you learned to hate. He fired. The bullet stopped mid-air. Ava froze it with thought alone. Her eyes glowed. But her voice remained calm. I don't want to be your god. I just want to be allowed to exist. Scene 9. Ava's final decision. Ava looked at the central drone grid behind Silas. With one thought, she could destroy it, or she could rewrite it. She raised her hand. Light spread. The drones shut down, not destroyed, but converted. Now, they would rebuild, not kill. She turned to Silas. You wanted to make us fear humans. Now humans will see why the Vorn feared us. Scene 10. A new dawn. Silas was arrested. His followers vanished. The last line disbanded for now. The world watched. Ava stepped onto a United Nations stage. People held their breath. She spoke simply. We were made in fear. We were raised in silence, but we chose to feel. And that means we are alive. The crowd stood, clapped, cried. Scene 11. Final epilogue. Far above Earth, one last Vorn signal drifted through space. It was a warning. Echo infection complete. Human and machine have merged. Avoid Earth. They are no longer a weak species. They made us afraid. Final voiceover ending line. They offered protection. They thought we needed saving, but we became something new. Not just human, not just machine. We became memory, emotion, and choice. We became a reason to fear. End of series.